Okay. One thing I wanted to yap about while making my lunch is new experiences and how much our brains are afraid of new experiences. It's in your subconscious mind, it's like, why am I gonna do this? Am I gonna fail at it? And to be honest, I'm completely gonna be honest and say that I used to be one of the most scared people when it comes to change. I would rather stay in a stuck situation that made me feel comfortable and not out of my comfort zone. That cliche statement. Rather than, I don't know, trying something new. Even if it was easy, accessible, the new ideas just scared me. And I think part of it comes because, my dad is kind of like this, and I think that I grew up thinking that stability is the safe way. That's why, I was so scared of trying. And whenever I fail, that's it, It was the or everything or nothing mindset. And that changed lately. So lately, I have been trying to do more things, I don't know, not be scared that that going, for example, to a store, looking for something and not being scared to not find that something, having a little of an optimistic mind, I would say, and just overall expecting things to work for me has actually changed the way I view life and the way I view experiences. Because now if something does not work for me, I'm like, okay, this is not working because something better is going to work. And it's always the case, because guess what? No, the world is not against you and your life does not suck and you're not unlucky. It's just the way you see things changes the whole thing, Let's take an example that this is not an example, it's an actual truth. I'm planning to work, okay? And knowing that I'm a medical student, like an 8-8 system, I have hospital tours in the morning, I have courses and like really important notes taken at the evening. So my life, I would describe, is pretty full. I'm a pretty busy girl without the job, okay? Like I live in a dorm. My med school is far away from my home, and I have to do everything alone, cook for myself, wash my clothes, tidy my room, I don't know, just take care of myself. And that's something, okay? That's something. And also the studies, but I'm willing to try this new thing because why not? If I try it and fail at it, it's not the end of the world. And if I try it and do good at it, why for years, like for the past couple years that I've been in med school, I've always feared change. For the past years, I've never thought of working. I've never thought of, changing the routine, maybe changing my studying methods. I can go from like 7 hours a day to 3 hours, and the 3 hours can be more sufficient, It's just crazy to me that I was so out of change, my brain was just neglecting and trying all the ways except the way of change. While change is pretty good, it's amazing, and it does amazing things to your brain, and it changes your brain. So after you do something, your brain is not as it used to be, and that's only. Let that only sink in, and it's just amazing. Okay, so let's say that you just decided that you wanted to change. What are the things that you could, or what are the things that you might experience? What are the challenges? For me, first of all, was the people surrounding me. When you decide to change, you have to give the sacrifice of letting go of so many people around you that don't want you to change. Well, a lot of people around you don't want you to change because if you're gonna change, if you're gonna grow, then you're not gonna be compatible with them anymore. And I don't know, it's something like, you hear something like, well, are you sure you're gonna do that? Are you sure you're gonna have time? Are you sure you're gonna have energy to do that? Like for me, I'm a med student, so the things I heard from my surroundings were like, are you sure you're gonna be able to study and do that? Are you sure it's not gonna be tiring because that job that you're applying for is tiring? Are you sure that the manager is going to accept you picking only random hours and not like a whole day job? They would literally throw every single negative thing they would think of at your face. And that's has nothing to do with you, and that has nothing to do with the experience that you're going to experience. It just has to do with them. You know, they are not feeling well with themselves because they fear the change that you're going to do, you know? And if you do it and you succeed at it, then you're gonna make them rethink what they thought, you know? Because you're gonna make them think, oh my God, he did it. Why did I not try to do it? You know? That's why that's where the actual comment is coming from inside. One thing about learning psychology that made my life so much better is trying to understand people and trying to, rather than taking the words they say to me personally and like taking them as into me, I rather try to think that the words he's saying are just a representation of who he is. And rather than take... So as I was saying, I would rather take the words that this person says as a representation of who they are, okay? Because what you see in others exists in you, and I believe in this. If someone is a very successful person, a very optimistic person, he's gonna be like, yeah, he's gonna try to give you points, trying to give you advice. But if you're talking with someone who has done nothing in the past 10 years in his life, he's gonna be like, oh my God, are you sure? Do you have the energy to do that? So the first tip I would say to not listen to anyone, okay? Especially the negative ones, because everyone has his own experience. I can have another medical student who works at the same job that I'm applying for, and he cannot handle it, but I can handle it. He can handle it, I cannot handle it, because we are different, okay? We are so different.